Starting the conversation around consent with children can be really simple. It doesn't have to be something that parents stress about. We want to make sure we're having the conversation around consent, that we're focusing on empathy, respect, and boundaries. With youth, the conversation doesn't have to have anything to do with sexual activity. So let's take an example. We see a child take crayons from another child without asking. We want to explain to the child why it's really important that they ask permission before taking the crayons. And we want to make sure that child understands that they have to wait for an answer. They can't ask for the crayons and then just take them, and they can't ask for the crayons while taking them. They want to ask for the crayons and wait for an affirmative response. If the answer is yes, they can take the crayons. If the answer is no, we want to explain to the child that it's absolutely okay that the answer is no. People are allowed to say no, and they can be upset about it, but they have to respect it. We also want to make sure that we're modeling this behavior for our children as well. So if we want a child to give us a hug or to give another loved one a hug and the child isn't comfortable doing that, we want to make sure that we explain that it's perfectly okay for the child not to be comfortable giving hugs or any other types of affection. They can show their affection in a way that they choose to do so. Again, it's really important that we focus on empathy, respect, and boundaries. We want to teach these values to our children, and we want to model them as well.
Do you want to give Grandma a hug?
No. Can I give her a high five?
I love high fives just as much as I love hugs.
Good game today. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like it when I touch your hair?
It's okay. Not really.
We also want to make sure that when we're talking about consent with our children, it's okay that sometimes we may get it wrong. So let's say that we have a child that gives someone a hug and the person who gets the hug really doesn't like hugs or maybe just doesn't feel like getting a hug that day. It's important for us to talk to our children about those mistakes. What really we want to make sure happens is that moving forward, the child understands that they can't just go up and give people hugs without asking permission. And if they know somebody really doesn't like hugs, maybe they stop asking. They can keep asking if they want, but if the answer is constantly no, we want to make sure we're respecting that as well. Another piece of this conversation is that we could model the behavior as best we can, and our kids might get pretty good at it, but we also have to keep in mind that there are outside influences like TV, radio and music, movies, social media, and maybe even friends and other parents that may not exactly set the examples that we want them to set.
Pants are a little tight today. Trying to show off your butt.
Shut up.
My bad. I didn't mean to offend you.
These lyrics are a bit aggressive.
It's just a song.
What do you think the message it's sending is?
Do what you have to do to get what you want.
Do you think that's a good message to be sending?
I never really thought about it.
Age of consent in Connecticut is 16. And that does come with a few caveats. One of them is that if someone is under the influence of drugs and alcohol, they cannot legally consent to sexual activity. We also want to teach our children that it's okay to take care of each other. So if they see someone in a situation that doesn't seem particularly safe, we want to encourage them to intervene and help that person out as long as they are keeping themselves safe as well.
I have to do something. Hey, pizza's here. Come grab a slice.
We want to start having these conversations with youth as soon as they gain language, and we want to keep these conversations going until they are adults. Imagine these younger conversations to be the building blocks for future conversations. We always want the conversations to be around empathy, respect, and boundaries. If you ever need support, please reach out to the Rowan Center as a resource. We would be more than happy to give you tips and suggestions for any specific conversation that you need to have that you might be struggling with. Remember, keep the conversation going.